Using multiple logical functions with nested if, and, or, not. The if function is one of the most widely used functions in Excel, being a very straightforward and easy function to write. If helps in easily checking conditions in Excel. However, what if you need to carry out multiple logical tests with more than one condition? You can use multiple if statements, which is more commonly known as the nested if. Let's consider an example where you have data in a tabular form. This data is the average temperature in a few cities. You have to classify them into 5 categories, which are extremely cold, cold, pleasant, warm, and hot. This shall be the classification criteria: extremely cold below 5 degrees, cold between 6 degrees and 15 degrees, pleasant between 16 degrees and 25 degrees, warm between 26 degrees and 35 degrees, hot above 35 degrees. Before we jump right in, let's put our data on a worksheet. Now, based on this data, we can frame the nested if statement as: the manner working functionality of the nested if formula is, it evaluates the logical test of the first if function. If it is true, then it returns the value set for true. If not, then it moves to the second nested if function, and so on. AND function. The AND function returns true only if all the logical conditions point to true. For example, in is equal to and open parentheses a1 is greater than 40, b1 is less than 12, close parentheses, returns true if the value of a1 is greater than 40 and the value of b1 is less than 12. If both these conditions are not satisfied, it returns false. Consider the same weather data. We add data regarding the humidity in each region and use nested if and functions to determine if the weather conditions are favorable or not. We use the given formula, and here's the result. Similarly, we can use the OR function with the if function to test a different scenario, such as: this checks if the temperature is more than 30 or the humidity greater than 60%. It returns extreme conditions if any of these two are true. NOT function. NOT is a very simple function which returns false if the logical function is true and true if the logical function is false. To understand the working, we go back to the weather example and carry out a logical test using NOT, which will give a result as follows. Wherever the weather condition is not favorable, the population density is low, and wherever the weather condition is favorable, not favorable, the population density is high. Thus, we have seen how we can use multiple logical functions with if, and, or, and not.